Hello and welcome to another session of Mountain Home. We had a skip week last week. I wasn't feeling well. That's what happens sometimes. But if you're interested in Mountain Home, if you've been watching this and listening to this, I did make a post about Mountain Home that you can find on the ageofravensgames.com site, where I walk through different ideas for rewards for expeditions, which is like the jobs from this thing. I do think that there's a lot of ideas there that could be translated over to other Forts in the Dark games for thinking about different kinds of rewards that can be given out to players beyond coin and rep, essentially to expand that out and make that more interesting. The book itself, Mountain Home, does suggest some of these things. I'm really expanding on the work that is present in the book itself. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. So where we're at, right now, you have an unfriendly relationship with the Quranic Duchy, with the Centaurs. They are the largest of the factions operating in the area. They are working to strengthen their hold right now. They're at weak hold for their tier 4. They're working on strengthening that. The Ashclaw sisters, the gnolls that are your allies, are moving their settlement to slightly higher to provide themselves with another place to work from. And so they are involved with that. And then the elves are sort of still slowly gathering up agents against the gnomes. The Tenku are working on their spirit fonts. They're a little bit further along on that. They are neutral to you, though you have some context there. So I would say that would mean that a clock to increase your relationship with them would probably be smaller than with some of the others, I would say. On the other hand, it would be a lot to get the gnomes to like you. They're at -2. They do not like you at all. Right now, they are working on a dark ritual. And then those human spellcasters with the metal familiars, they are working on expanding their settlement, and they are making progress towards that. They wish to increase their tier effectively. Last time we checked in at the beginning of the year, we had some events that went on, some celebrations of the movement up to tier 2. There was a discovery on the part of Fishbanina, as part of the towns, to discover that a site down below that has 2 different exciting resource potential claims that can be explored. You at the end of last year, you had undertaken steps to enhance the sort of the Physicers Guild and do some communal activities with that. That left an issue with the monkeys, the cave monkeys, kind of on the table, but deferred for the moment due to Tyler's project with Grunheld. The dragons that have been nipping at that, but that is something that is still out there. But what you have been alerted to is this group of dwarves that are approaching, a largish caravan of them that are coming this way. And I will point out again that you all are right now kind of at your limit in terms of population and food and things like that. That was one of the factors that we sort of established. So I guess the question is, like, you have some time before they arrive. I mean, they have to march up the steps to Carrick Minor, the roadway to reach here, and it is very clear this is their intended destination given the road. To decide, what you want to do, how you wish to prepare, and so on. I'll remind you that I described them. Your scouts are able to tell you that they are a different lineage of dwarves. They are the dwarves that are closer to sort of the elemental lines of things. You will see that their skin coloration runs gray, purple, blue, pale blue, all the kind of, there's a range of that throughout them. And I think you will see your scouts report that some of them have glowing eyes and some do not. And they're not sure what that is about, whether that's a sign of rune power or something else. So our founders are gathered together talking about how they wish to proceed. Who is talking? There's a silence that hangs in this.
I
Okay.
brought recipe books. We should meet them with a feast.
They also say that it is good to start with a joke, and we have this wonderful book of Knowlish humor.
That might take some explaining, but okay.
Just to ask, is there sort of a knowledge of, we know a little bit about this species, subspecies, but is there any sort of difficulties that we have with them? Are they just greeted as friend and, kinsman? Or
would you like to make a scholar roll or a host roll to kind of know like the sort of rules of the peoples and so on?
I'll certainly make a host roll to see kind of the cultural information.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. That seems a neat idea.
Mm-hmm.
So host, I have 3 dice. Oh, let me put my name in. There we go. So 3 die. Oh, sorry, I rolled the wrong thing. 1, 2, 3. Roll. I got a 5.
Got a 5. So you will know that the splits that occurred between the different factions, like the different sort of lines and things, there was a period before the fall of Carrick Minor, but then there was generally a large split that occurred around the time of the fall of Carrick Minor. It's part of the reason that it was never reclaimed is there was so much other tumult and changes going on. And you will know that what you recall is they have a strong hierarchy and caste system, like a system of roles and lines. Like the guild system in your holding is a group, but people move between those guilds. They transfer, they move around. You know that they had a very tight like set of rules on that, and there is no like outstanding historical hatred or a direct animosity between the two of you. I think that you can say, okay, we're safe on that score. They're not just coming here to attack us or anything.
Okay. I'll kind of convey a little bit of what I know of the culture, and if they've come from the east, we know that dangerous things have been happening that way. They may be refugees.
Yes, but they have a whole set of knowledges that we don't. It will be glorious.
I certainly
hope
think
some of them can
welcoming
farm because we're going to be real low on food.
It's true.
I mean, I'm sure some of them can.
Are we in agreement that we welcome them as friends then?
Britons who are
What else would
working,
we do?
farming and growing food to help pay for their stay, and maybe building an extra guest room. That would
Well,
be hard.
all of us have duties here in the mountain. I have to say that I they have long traditions of how they run themselves. I would hope they would adapt to our culture here.
Yep.
But we cannot turn away kinsmen.
Nope.
So Dagriel, you said you're going to try and get together some kind of a quick feast or reception here.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think that is a role is that feels a
What
little
is the
bit like
enthusiasm role? That's it.
I want to say host, since that is exactly what host is about.
Oh, how about I convince Grunhelm to handle that while I take care of other duties? I just have the recipe book.
So you
I
want
can
to
help the host.
assist Grunheld is what you're telling me.
Yes, I would love to.
All right, certainly we should. You're right, Dagriel. We should welcome them with open arms.
We'll figure it all out later.
Then Dagriel, why don't you mark a stress?
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Give
Great
Grunheld
way to start things out.
to give Grunheld an extra die. But let's check in with Tolan and Dazin here. Tolan, what do you want to do in preparation for this?
Make sure we have places for them to stay.
Okay.
Like, we have lots of space, but buildings that aren't going to fall on someone's head are a little more of question.
Yeah, what do you think it is to kind of go and get people moved and get that arranged to do the logistics of that?
That might be, is that dig?
That could be.
Could be craft, it could be, yeah, it's probably not scout, and probably not study. Probably dig.
You going to bring your guild to bear on this?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
All right. Then you can use them to either give yourself an extra die, or if you want to have a greater effect, you could do that.
Since I only have one die in dig, I'm gonna say an extra die.
Okay.
One's a 6. So.
Okay. So yeah, you get them up and organized right away, and they're like, they will think, yeah, we've kind of been planning out about where that could be. We'll have to rush. We can give them space that if they're willing to camp for a while, we can get them set up in that. But we can get that ready right now, so it'll look like we were waiting for them.
Perfect.
And they will rush too. You can tell that some of them are really like they've been told that there are these strange foreign dwarves, and they're very excited about that. Some of the ladies are cleaning themselves up. Some of the men are cleaning themselves up, to meet outsiders. It's a small community, so new blood is always excites people to interact with. Dawson, what are you doing?
Sort of wondering if maybe the like ancestor spirits in the mountains might know anything about this faction of dwarves.
Interesting. I like that. What do you think that role is for that? Is that Stone Speak?
Yeah, and I have an effigy of an honored ancestor as one of my supply things.
You want to use that?
Yeah. Might increase the effect of a conversation with a dead ancestor, help ease a conversation with another dwarf. Yeah, I have a fresh carved and inscribed, like rune inscribed, statue of what's characters and things? Prisabella Cobalt Bane. The maybe in that whole like dedication thing, she introduced me to another ancestor spirit down there, and so now I've brought a new effigy of them to the shrine dedicated to her.
I like that. Why don't you go ahead and make that roll for me?
If you let me know that you're doing it, I'll spend a stress to give you help by telling you the cultural bits that I know from
Yeah, definitely.
my old, dredging up from my old braid.
Then yeah, there's that. Uh, what might be a devil's bargain on that?
Let's see. I think a devil's bargain is that like you're still getting used to the means and ways of speaking to the mountain, and so I think that perhaps you're a little rushed, and you will increase the entanglement track for the mountain.
Um, that's fair.
All right. Then that will give you an extra die.
It's 5 dice then. Which is 2 6s.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
The mountain will show you a vision, and it will show you a vision of darkness, and you will see a dwarf slide out of the darkness and shiv another dwarf and drop them down, and then carefully bundle up the body. And you will see that dwarf going and standing before a dwarven lord and presenting the dagger to that lord. And the mountain will say, "They are known to us of old. They are the assassins of the Asteria. They are that guild which is not amongst your guilds. That is who is coming. That is the line that is arriving."
Oh. Can they be worked with? Can they be lived with?
That is an entirely different question. But I will say, we will say, that they have been a part of their community for generations.
Strange. Dark and uncomfortable, but not through
You're
any
dark and
fault of
uncomfortable.
yours. No, this not your shrine.
No, you come and you mock me, and that's the point at which the entanglement goes up one.
No, I'm just saying we haven't installed a lot of lights down here, and there's still a lot of lichens. It's not your fault. The moisture.
So Grunheld, you have a short time to rush to get this put together. You've got Dagriel's assistance in this. Let's have you roll host.
All righty, rolling 4 dice. I got a 6.
Out of 6. So what is great about the feast, the welcoming that you are able to put together.
We're not as food plentiful as we have been.
Right.
So it's not an elaborate banquet, but we have managed to deal enough with the squirrel monkeys that we have the brewery running. So there are kegs and beer aplenty. We are able to offer libations quite freely, and hopefully that will bring a sense of cheer to all.
Excellent. You will see the procession make its way up the ramp. And I will get a set of things there. Hang on, I've got some pictures in the NPC tab now for you. They are kind of slow. There's clearly a moving forward. You will definitely see that the people with the sort of the brightest eyes, those glowing eyes, will come forward, and they will approach up, and they will bring themselves to a stop a ways away, and one of them will come forward and will look to the group of you and will say, "Who is king in Carrick Minor?"
I will turn and bow toward Grunheld without hesitation. And I will say, it is the Lady Grunheld.
Yes. Yes, I agree. Grunheld will know who the king is.
And he will look to you, Grunheld, and he will come forward towards you, and he will take a knee.
Please, it is not wholly accurate that I am king. Here in Carrick Minor, I am first among the equals. We are the founders who have reestablished this city.
Then who is king?
There is no king.
And that seems to, like, that's not what he was expecting to hear. And you will see him pause, and he had his hand on like a pouch at the side, like he was going to hand you something, and he takes his hand away from that, and he crosses his arms. We are of the Estrella. We are the Lita. That is the name of our guild and our line, and it traces itself back to Carrick Minor. And we have come to claim right of living within Carrick Minor.
You are welcome. As I said, we are led by a council. At the moment, I speak for that council. And you are welcome as kinsmen and as fellow dwarves to come here What has brought you here?
My people have traveled a significant distance. What has occurred is not something that I would wish to speak out and air in front of everything, and especially not out here in the foulness of the sunlight.
That is understandable. We saw your approach, and we have made ready a feast of welcoming. Please, enter Carrick Minor, brethren.
And he will step back to his people and address them, and clearly they have some like local tongue vernacular. They are speaking in that a little bit to kind of, amongst themselves, but then they turn back, and when they approach, they will greet you in sort of more standard dwarven as they come. They've clearly been told to speak that tongue here as guests, and they will come in, and you would say it's about 36 dwarves, and it's split probably maybe 50-50 between those who have that glow in their eyes and those that don't. And you can see that that's that just judging by attitude and presentation and everything, that definitely seems to be, whether that's a marker of class that comes from being that, or whether that determines class, you're not sure. But they will come in. They are definitely a fighting / warrior cast. I think you will see that all of them are armed, whereas you're used to laborers being, having labor and things. But they will come in, and they will look around. You see, they had no, like they didn't have any sense of what Carrick Minor was going to look like. They were told clearly that it only been opened a few years ago, so their expectations are probably a little bit low. And they do look around appreciatively, especially once Tolan, you will lead them over to where they can set their animals, where they can set their packs, and so on. And they will look around. You will notice, Tolan, most of them are very sort of formal. They're kind of standing to, they're looking around, except there's one of them that kind of breaks off for the pact and immediately just starts wandering off on their own. And they're dressed very differently from the others. They're clearly a member of this group, but they've actually got like an animal antler like helmet on, and like skins and things, and they just start wandering off.
I will go with them. Try to strike up a conversation.
Hello.
Hello. My name's Tolan. What's yours?
I am Nibail Gangli Gez.
Well,
And Tolan, you are Tolan.
Tolan Rustax.
Are you Sin, Dot, or Gez?
I don't know what that means. Neither.
Neither. But there are 3. How could there be neither when there are 3? You mean none of? Wait, I don't know. Oh, then Gez. We'll say Gez then. That's fine. I'm Gez, so Gez is fine.
All right.
It means you don't know. It means you don't know.
Okay.
Or you haven't decided, or sometimes you change it. It's all good. No. We'll say you're Gez. Okay.
All right.
Yes. So you should show me around. They're going to be talking and ritualing and speechifying and sortationing and that kind of thing.
Yes, they will be doing a lot of that. I'll be happy to show you around.
Good, good. And we should get something to eat, maybe? Get us like some table
Yes.
scraps. I'll be fine with that. If
Uh,
anything.
You don't need to wait for the table scraps. I mean, we have food
Okay.
now.
Good,
Let's
good.
go get some food, and then I'll show you around.
Absolutely. And they will kind of wander along behind you. They touch everything. Like they touch you, they touch the food, they touch the chairs, they touch the stone. Like this, you don't see any of the other of the Asteria
Mhm.
doing this, but they clearly like are really tactile.
Yeah. I think I'm like a little put off by them touching me, and then I noticed they just touch everything. Like, oh, maybe they have bad eyesight or something. I don't know. I think I grab fish panina and like take both of them and just go, yeah, show them like, yeah, here's my friend fish panina. She can get into places that I cannot fit. She can tell you about things that I have not seen. Yeah, let's go. Show you around place.
Secrets. Yes. And she will go with you. Uh, uh, you will lay out a feast. They will come. They will sit. The other dwarves will come. They are polite. They are restrained. You can tell that there's still an undercurrent of uncertainty because there is no king. That they were expecting there to be some liege, some throne here. And that has thrown them off. Degril, what are you doing during this? And then I'll come to Dodds, and then I want to swing back for Grunheld.
That is a fine question. I think you know, I think I will tell them the basics of the stories that we found from this place, of the secrets that we've started to unlock, of the places that we have hints of, and of all the things that we still need to do, if that makes any sense. So, very much they should get the sense that Dagriel keeps a list of all the things, if that makes any, and she does like say, we have a library here, we have a library there, we have and essentially, and we'll have one on every level.
And they're nodding. They you clearly they have a respect for knowledge and learning, and that seems to appeal to them. They're a little closed about telling their own stories yet. They're playing things a little close to the chest, but they do listen intently, and they do listen appreciatively.
Great, I love an audience, it turns out.
Dawson, what about you?
As they're like, some of them are getting settled into where they're setting up, and some of them are distracted by the banquet, and some of them are being like led around on guided tours by Dagriel. Dawson will come up next to Grunheld, I think, and say, "This is going much better than I imagined. I was
Did you have
afraid that having
concerns?
I was afraid that having an entire clan of bloodthirsty assassins in the mountain would be disruptive in some way."
Say ha.
Did you not get my memo? I had an apprentice fill out a memo, and you're looking at me like you didn't get it.
I was very busy preparing for this. What have
I
you
have a very
learned, Dawson?
informative letter for you waiting on your. I imagine.
How
Do you
about a
have like an
succinct
incoming pile on your desk?
rephrasing?
Like, how do you
I do.
organize things?
It's quite
step by step?
large.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, well, it seems they come from an ancestral line of um, assassins and killers. I'm not sure if it's for money or some religious honor, bloodline sort of thing.
Hmm.
They did apparently come from Carrick Minor originally, or some part of their
So that part of
clan
the story
did.
is true. Where did you learn of this, Dawson?
Well, the ancestor spirits in the shrine were happy to share information up until there was an undisclosed disruption. Vagaries of ley line energies.
Did they give counsel on how to deal with them?
Mm, preferably in a well lit room.
I
They
see.
said they had found some way to live with them. Presumably, there is some way.
Well, we will have to find out their purpose, but forewarned is forearmed. Thank
Should
you.
we have a king, though? I mean, it seems like if we had a king, we could have a throne, then we'd have a throne room, maybe a palace. We could show people around the palace.
I had never really thought of it, but Agriel was very quick to. Perhaps it's something we should discuss in council.
Yes, it was covered over. I'm not saying anything against you. It was covered over well. I'm just saying, at its heart, it was a little embarrassing to have a group come in and say, "Ah, so where is your king?" And we say, "King? Oh, well, that's just it's an uncomfortable moment."
Well, again, something perhaps for us to discuss in council.
We should at least have a rehearsed answer.
Thank you, Dawson. This was a very important bit of information. Thank you
Yes.
very, very much.
That's why I sent the memo.
And I appreciate that as well.
Brunheld, what is your goal? Like, what do you want to get out of this meeting? You've done very well setting up the thing. You put them at ease. They perhaps despite the undercurrent of not being sure, they are pleased to be treated like they did not expect at all to be greeted as graciously as this.
Okay.
And I do think there is a bit, I mean, you're a skilled host, that I think that you angle it so that you make it clear that this is a feast for them, but this is a place with tight resources. Like, I think that they're not getting the misimpression that you have an abundance. Like, they realize that this is an act of generosity, and that is a sacrifice on your part.
I think my goal, first off, is the one that spoke to me, I'm guessing is their leader, to find out if they are the leader of the band.
Right.
And to kind of put them a little more at ease so that I can slide us into a conversation of, are you coming here? You say you wish to stay. Are you wishing to, do you understand we already have an established here? Are you willing to become part of that? But to kind of put him a little more at ease, and all of them a little more at ease, so we can maybe get this feast to, feel a little more inclusive. Let them start talking with our people, all that sort of thing.
And I think that as the evening goes along, you will realize that, now that you're kind of looking around, is besides that split between the Golden Eyes and the people without, they have like a higher proportion of young people than you would have expected.
Mm.
Like it's not kind of evenly split. Like it's definitely like maybe a quarter of them are what you would consider seniors or veterans or things like that, and then the others are younger. And
a part of this is I'm wanting him to feel at ease. I'm not pushing yet for why did you have to come here? I don't want to hit that yet.
well, he will say, we've come, we will earn our keep here if you permit us to stay. We understand what it is to be part of a community. We understand and revere that 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 is important to us.
This
We
is your home.
have
We are welcoming to any of our kindred. And while we, at the moment, are a little short on our most basic of resources, everyone is pulling their weight. And this is a place that you can find a home.
that would be good. We have come a very long way. Our settlement is in the Mountains of Graves, which is the border, the furthest borderline of the Empire of Ghosts.
Mm,
Uh,
that is quite far. I've only heard legends of that place.
We traveled across multiple different lands, and then we were given a vision, and he'll look around like he mentions there's a vision, and he looks around, and you see him look for somebody. It doesn't see them and kind of frowns. We were given a vision. I am relieved that it is a true vision.
I would hear more of your journey and what set you on that path, but perhaps that would be best with you, the others of our council, and
These
in a private
founders,
place.
the
Yes.
leaders, yes, I will tell you of how our stronghold fell.
I'm sorry to
And
hear.
yeah, we will take our 10-minute break here and come back in council. So we're going to cut to a day or two later. Things are still kind of getting set up, and we might do some more RP interacting with the people, things like that. We might figure out an expedition related to getting them settled, how you want to do that kind of thing. But Parador will sit in front of the council, and like at first he does that thing where he wants to take a knee to present, and then you talk him out of that, and he will nod. He brings Saruke, who you have the sense after watching things going on is clearly the other kind of like person who maybe controls other aspects of the clan, of the guild, and so on. And he will say, as I said, we are of the Leda Guild, of that line, of that family, that tradition. We have held true to that. We have been in service to the throne wherever we have been. And it's always been our want and our purpose. I am the first trader. That is what I am called, because I am brother to the king. This is not usually be that the first trader would be amongst my family, but that is a whole nother consideration. But that is a story of my own personal. So our family, we are the chemists, we are the tool makers for the tools and instruments and so on. These are things that we have learned. Our chemistry plays into that, in that we are able to etch metals and work with them in fine ways. And we are the assassins for the throne, for the king. That has been our duty, that has been our place. We act within our demesnes and without. We have learned the arts, and we have practiced, and we keep them to ourselves. But we do nothing of that without the orders of our king. You know of the new gods. You have heard. A new god arose amongst the dwarves. A dwarf awoke to new gifts and new powers, and they began to change things, and they began to demand fealty, and they began to command fealty, and they brought the throne under their guard, under their control, and threw away old dwarven traditions and ceremonies for their own ends. They will be the death of that place. We are sure of that. And we spoke against them. And we were sentenced to death or exile. And I only believe we achieved exile because we left before other things could occur. We brought with us a channeler. We are different in arts from your people. We are closer to the elements and the elementals. That is who we hear the song of more deeply than the ancestors. But there are sometimes those among us, the channelers, who can, like your people, speak to the ancestors and receive visions. And despite their issues, Nabael brought us here. They are a channeler, a power. They have seen visions, but they are also an open door.
An open door.
They are given to possession, not at their choice.
I see.
Strong ancestors will seize control of them until they exhaust them.
I'll kind
I-
of cut an eye across the dozen.
Is Nabil here, or or are they not in this meeting?
No, you can kind of look around, like, did they bring him in, bring them? Clearly, no, like he's clearly
Okay.
talking about that a person, and as a person, of course, that Tolan was talking with. I tell you this because they had. I can speak and vouch for all of my people and their loyalty to, and he kind of pauses, like the council. I don't know. We are used to power invested in a person, but we will consider this council that person.
But
For now, that is best.
It's currently under discussion.
As I say, I can speak and vouch for all here, that we will serve and obey and work and take up the duties that are necessary. I cannot say that for Nabil. They are their own person.
That is reasonable, and we have many unique individuals here in Carrick Minor.
Yeah, and he actually looks over at Dawson, like he's clearly asked around, and he goes, yes, and then looks back at you.
Unique individual. There you
As I said, you are welcome here, and we look forward to knowing your people more and having your people be a part of this home and this council. Your voice will be heard, or the leader of your family and guild will be heard in this council. We are also very interested, of course, in learning more about the threat that reached your settlement. Dagriel and the scholars are always eager to learn of things that we have not completely plumbed the complete knowledge of. And I'm sure she will be very interested to take down their stories.
What we are not bonded to secrecy on, we will tell.
That is reasonable. And perhaps in time, as we are one community, those bindings you will see loosened in certain ways, though of course we will never demand of your clan. I thank you for informing us of your travels. I would ask if you would give a short time that this council may deliberate, and then we will have you return and discuss what the future will mean for us all together.
And he takes the knee again and bows, like turns the bow to each of you, and then rises and like backs out, like he doesn't turn around. He actually backs his way out very cautiously out of the room.
Once the door is closed, Dagriel,
This is the coolest thing ever, isn't it? Wow.
It
I mean, it's like history right in the room with us.
It is.
No, I mean, there's stories about this. I've never, I'm just like really excited. So are we going to have one of them be on the council with us? I think that makes sense. They're the only ones that really know what's going on.
Well, I would think that one of them would join the council.
Yes,
This
good. I think that's right.
comparison. But Dagriel,
Yes.
And you very quickly spoke up. Ask about a king.
Well,
And sort of put me out there.
I did. Well, I just figured that they wanted someone to talk to, front person. You're the person they're going to want to talk to.
Yes, this is what I was saying, Grunheld. We need to choose someone to be king. Imagine it. We could
Why
make
do we need
a
a
really
king?
fancy throne for them. Well,
We've
we
been
could put
doing
them in.
fine.
We could put them in clothes, like and a hat, a very fancy hat. And then when new people came, we could just point them at them and say, "Talk to that person."
That doesn't sound like a king, doesn't that? Sounds like a figurehead.
Yes, that's the one.
Could I suppose see the value in that, but not an actual king. You heard what he said. Don't you think that our people would be much harder for a single person to influence if a single person isn't in charge?
I've never seen a particular reason for us to have a king.
Well,
We came
we
together
have had
as a
some
group.
4 centuries in this area without a royal figure leading the clans. But that was partially because they all got gacked at about that time, and no one wanted to be the one that would get gacked as soon as they sat on any throne.
Okay,
think
but I
that's-
feel like we should at least have nicer chairs.
We could work on better chairs. The question is,
Maybe like a uniform or some sort of pin or insignia.
do we think we should have a thane? Someone who is figurehead, I don't like the term of, but someone who is speaker.
That's not a bad idea. How about we have it, one of the members of the council, and we rotate it every year or something like that. That means no one's like saddled with having to stay home and be Thane, but they can do it for a while. If anyone goes power hungry, they only have that year to make everyone furious with them. So, keeps the assassinations down. I think that's good.
Wait, rotates?
Yeah.
That
To-
sounds fair.
Wait, to who though?
Members of the council.
Not all of us.
Well, if you don't want to throw your hat in the ring, put your straw in the bunch, any of those things, it's fine.
I suppose that yearly the council could vote for who stands as Thane. Would that make sense?
That'd be fun because there'd be all kinds of intrigue and people like going, no, just whatever you do, I'll give you anything you want if you don't vote for me. It'd be great.
That seems unnecessarily complicated.
Awesome.
The only reason I pointed out is that we have had several occasions where someone has been asked to be pointed out as speaker for the group.
No, you're right. You always speak with outsiders, so we all point to you when anyone asks because you've done it before. But
And it's real good
if
parties.
you don't want to, we could point to someone else, I suppose.
I am willing to take this duty, but I do not think it is right for us to have a king.
I agree.
If you wish for me to be speaker this year or speaker for any amount of time, I am willing to do. But there is something to a crown that it makes my skin crawl.
How's that long history of assassinations?
So the next time someone asks who our king is, we just say, we don't have a king, but our speaker is Grunheld.
Our Thane.
Thane. Our Thane. That sounds fair.
Good, that'll be much less awkward.
And we will order nice new chairs.
I mean, with like really high backs.
I will bow to your design.
Like the kind of high backs where at the top, do get your guild marker like above your head kind of thing.
Oh, it's fancy
Ooh.
engraving, different metals, inlays. Inlays. That's what we need.
Hmm. If they asked who the Thane serves, do we just say the mountain?
That is possible, or the Thane leads the council. I
Okay.
worry that perhaps the mountain will not appreciate being told that one of us speaks for it.
Well, at least it would be more
It does
natural.
seem able to
True.
speak
It's
for
kind
itself.
of, yeah, you're right.
At least it would be more natural than worshipping a dwarf.
What?
As
Breach
a
of trade
I
tradition.
god?
I wonder. He said that it changed their traditions for its own ends. He didn't say what its own ends were.
Well,
That
I do have some news of
that's
the
a
new
thing we should
gods, and
try out.
apparently some of their power comes from how many worshippers they have. So my guess is that those traditions were getting turned so that all of the freehold was supposed to worship said dwarf god.
Self-aggrandizement. It is something we must be on alert for. Such a thing rising here.
Well, and
Oof.
understand the self-aggrandizement. It's not just that. It literally powers them. Like, like power.
Mm.
Like fuel.
Dagriel, you should try to interview as many of them, or have your guild interview as many of them as possible.
No, think
The more
about
we
this.
learn,
All these tragedies down in one book. It's going to be great. Tearjerker.
then we are all in agreement that we are accepting them into our fold. We are offering
Yes.
their leader a position here on the council.
As the leader of them as a guild. That would mean us acquiring an assassin's guild.
That is not unknown amongst our people. Dark
No, but
times call for
don't.
dark work.
We don't have much use for assassinations, but yeah, I know the gnomes are a problem.
We could certainly use a chemist's guild.
That is
That's
true.
a nice way of putting it.
Chemists are very useful. I've
So we
I've been
call it the
talking to the
chemist
channeler.
wink wink
I
guild is kind of
find
it.
out.
I'm sorry, Tolan, what were you saying?
Sorry.
I look at Dagriel. Along with your interviews, I've been talking to their channeler, and they seem quite friendly. I don't, but I can, I can see if I find out what they know.
Okay, that sounds great. The more that we understand who we're working with, the more truly welcoming we can be, and the better that we can help mesh our setup with theirs. Because it can be a big change for them.
Yeah, that's they seem very formal. They seem very ill at ease. I think they were planning on, well, coming here to serve a king, and there is no king. But
And new place, and coming from such uncertainty, it makes sense that they would be uncomfortable.
They clearly lost a lot of their members, those in the prime of their age. Probably those people stepped out to protect them so that they could get away.
we're also going to need more food.
Mm,
The real problem that you have right now is 36 more mouths to feed, even with them working, is an issue. Like that's a problem.
We should open up a new farm. We can place another in the hills. But I think a priority, we need to find somewhere underground that can support food. It worries me that our crops are all open air.
Should talk to the gnolls. They've lived in this area for a long time. They know what grows well here. It's easier to start with things that grow well here than try to make our traditional crops thrive here. And they do live in, well, caves, not like this one, but they may know some mushrooms and things like that.
It is worth asking them what knowledge they might have. Well, shall we invite our kinsmen in to join the council and inform them of the Thane ship that is now our structure?
Sounds good. I'll go get them. Stand up from the table, go open the door. We're ready to see you.
And he will come back in with Saruke.
We have had a discussion, and your inquiry as to a leader of this community is not the first we have heard.
Mm-hmm.
As a council, we have decided it is probably best to have someone who stands as that speaker, stands as that
Good.
singular leader in a time. For us, it shall be a Thane, a leader of the council, a speaker of the council, and one who can speak for that council when dealing with outsiders. And I have been given the honor of that as first Thane. We will address other Thanes through a vote of council.
All right. That we will adhere. I will have to speak with my membership about what that means for the gifts that we have sworn to only use at the behest of the king. It may be that we cannot give you those skills. I do not wish to commit to that, but I think we'll have to talk. But we are gifted chemists and tool makers, and I'm sure that we can bring value.
We also would ask, if you are the leader of your guild and clan, would you take a seat upon this council to speak as an equal with the council?
I will hand that to Saruke. I have betrayed my line and my family, and I have lived up to my role as the first trader. I have brought my people safely here, and I will serve, but I will not lead.
Then they are welcome to join the council and to take part in all of our deliberations for the betterment of Carrick Minor and for the betterment of our peoples.
and he'll bow, and he'll actually step back to leave, and Saruke will kind of step up. She is much more casual, and she will say, "All right, which chair is mine?"
You can take that one, but we're going to get much nicer ones soon.
I was going to ask.
Bigger with inlays.
We could do inlays. We're very good at inlays.
Oh, good.
Absolutely.
Really? So this whole chemistry and metalworking etching thing, that's not just a, smoke screen?
We don't do smoke screens.
Oh.
You think you could with the chemistry?
Well, you probably could.
Feels like a chemistry sort of thing.
Plus, and she'll sit down next to you. If it were a smoke screen, would I tell you?
Well, I assume it would work best if one were surprised and choking on smoke.
Exactly. So you can be surprised later on.
Well, first order of business, and we'll.
Doesn't love surprises.
Oh, good. I've got lots of surprises.
That is untrue, and you know that's untrue.
She leans over close to you and she says, "Even better." So here is the thing. We've got to talk about expeditions. So something has to be done to get food of some sort. While during the end phase, building a farm, those kinds of things will help for the next year. Right now, you need to do something for this year.
Okay.
So you need to figure out how you wish to solve that problem.
Okay. And we've got squirrel monkeys in the brewery.
And you got squirrel monkeys in the brewery.
Okay.
Are squirrel monkeys edible?
Squirrels are.
The squirrel monkeys, you don't know. No one has tried. They've got those fangs that have a little bit of a nasty bite to them. So you're not sure if it's like where the venom sacs maybe bite up beyond the.
So we start a progress clock for squirrel monkey seasoning.
Theoretically, we could send out parties to hunt, or we could even appeal to our friends the Knolls, though I don't know if they have an abundance. But we need an immediate in source before our crops would come in from a farm. Thoughts?
Fishing. There's times of the year when the rivers are heavy with spawning or with travel for the different fish types. She sort of stops because that's the easy one. I say easy in the sense of we could figure out when it was, difficult in the sense that I don't float particularly well and water is not my strong suit. However,
It is unnatural.
Boats
I
are
do
not
have-
that
Dead
difficult
lakes
to
also
build.
doesn't sound appealing for a food source.
what?
I said the dead lakes, which is our nearest water
Oh.
source, doesn't sound appealing. for
We have many
food.
streams and small rivers that we would be depending upon, I think, as the fish
We
go
could
back
go
and
and
forth.
we could go and try and scout somewhere out.
True. I do have my good friend, Barter Stormedge. He was on a fishing boat for a couple of years. He knows all about it. But unfortunately, that was more sea type. But still, he does know about fishing and nets and those sorts of things. So that's a thing that I've just put out there. That is a sort of wildlife that moves around in semi-predictable ways. We could try traps. We could do an expedition down to the mountain. If there's that volcanic area, it means that there's heat coming in to different places, and that usually is a good sign that there might be something that's growing in the caverns.
Okay, so an expedition down to see if we find something growing, or an expedition out to see if we find wildlife we can hunt, trap, fish.
Mhm.
What are folks' idea? What do you think of those options?
I'm just relieved that we're not going to talk to yet another group of people about our problems. It seems to be all we do. We just talk to people, and then we talk to them, and then they talk back at us, and they have idiotic things to say, and it's all ridiculous, and it goes in a hopeless cycle. So yes, fish. Fish don't talk.
Let's hope not. So you are suggesting outside the mountain rather than inside the mountain?
Well, or a nice, delicious lichen, some fungi. I like foods that grow in caves because I'm a dwarf.
Toland, your thoughts?
I think fish are more well, there may be something growing where the cave is warm. It may be edible. We know that most bodies of water have fish.
And
They're
there's
still
game around.
asking the gnolls for their advice on where to go for fishing, but I think fishing is a better bet.
All right, then. Sounds like our expedition is to try and find resources above ground to see us through this difficult time until we have a farm up and running.
So, in terms of your role in this, you will be kind of heading out to try and locate sites for fishing or for hunting that have not yet been exploited by other groups, that you can set up as safe places to send other people to do the journey. So this is a tough thing. What resources do you think you can bring to bear before we even go to the journey roll to figure out where these spots are?
I can bring Barter Stormedge. He's a member of my guild who does have fishing experience. He knows about nets and different kinds of fish traps.
He knows that, but it's a question of like finding the areas around here.
Exactly. We understand that, but I'm just saying once we get that, we get the technical expertise.
Yeah. So what are the tools that others can bring to help locate where these resources might be exploited?
Can send the Moray group scouts out on their own to look for stuff.
Okay.
Or I think asking around, just the Moray and also the laborers to some extent have had reason to explore the area. So I think like some of them might already know where there are good places to find fish or hunting, or at least areas that aren't already overhunted by other groups. And yeah, I think it's just more like knowledge that people have picked up incidentally. It doesn't, while doing other things.
Nexus might know about
those two
the
groups.
seasonal runs and stuff to help us get timing down.
The gnolls literally offered to be guides out there in the wilderness for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Dawson, what tier are your scouts?
When they act on their own, it's a fortune roll, and a fortune roll goes off of our settlement tier.
Okay, so tier 2, we'll say that We'll give you an additional die for having the gnolls and other folks to consult with. They will tell you, like, to find the kinds of things that we're talking about, we have to go outside of the home region, because the home region is primarily deserts and dry land. The Dead Lakes are an unpleasant area. We might go to one of the as yet unexplored areas, or to the forest of the elms, 8,000 elms. But that's also the place that is more populated. So, Dawson, roll me 3d6.
Oh, I have to take off my last roll was still that 5d6, so I have to take some off to do this.
Oh man, I had so many dice on that last roll, I had to take some away.
They were angry about it. I got a 4.
Out of 4. So, what is the name of the adjoining region that they have to head into? Dawson. And let's say it is some kind of vale or valley or run of some sort.
The Mistlands.
Mistlands. They will head into there, and this happens over the course of the year, so they are back several weeks later, and they will say, so we have found a potential source of a hunting ground. And the good news is that, from what we can tell, our dwarven scent is not marked by the creatures there. We come to understand that
animals smell you.
Exactly. From what we understand, the elves can operate out of there, but the centaurs have been unable to, because their people carry a certain odor.
It's horses. They smell like horses. You can say they smell like horses.
Yes. Here's the thing. These are very large animals. We were able to track a few that we think, in a group, we could probably take it down. If we didn't draw too many others, but it will be some work. They're perhaps the size, the ones that we think we can catch are the size of a couple of carts.
Carts?
Yes. The ones that we've spotted that stay towards the edges, away from where the bigger ones are, we think we can hunt them. They are not poisonous, so we don't have to worry about that. But they are large and low to the ground, and they are enormous lizards.
Going to need larger crossbows.
We're going to need to have this planned out. We'll need to do this with some care and caution. And to demonstrate that people should do this, it would go a long way if the founders were to go on this first hunt. Though perhaps not in the flesh.
Ah. Well, yes. I'm sure they'll all be fine with that.
Well, will they be able to smell? Well, you'll just smell like clay, right?
Exactly. Just smell like dirt, wet dirt. It's fine.
If you were warm, maybe they would like want to, want to hang out by you.
I am not going to be a heat rock.
Really? You just
We
have
are
to
not
sit in the
building
sun
a-
for a bit.
We are not building some sort of enormous terrarium-based trap. That's ridiculous. Where would
no,
we
that's a
even
good
get
idea. A
springs
trap.
that
Yeah,
powerful?
that's what I was thinking is, we just make it like the most comfy place in all the land.
Well, yes, but making
And raise
plexiglass
a thing
sheets
about
that
it.
large and make them look invisible, it would take
We just have
polishing
to
for
find-
hours.
We just have to find a warm, a warm, sunny area where they already go. Well, no, they would gather there, wouldn't they? That would be bad. We want to catch one at a time, not. Never mind.
We'd have to look for the saddest lizard. and
No,
put a
no,
place
I'm
somewhere.
beginning to turn around. This is I think this is I could work on a large cage-based contraption. Tolan, you find a way to shift heat from the sun over to a certain desired area, and then bam, cage full of giant lizards.
It would be a very large cage. If one lizard is the size of 2 carts, what would we even do with many lizards?
Well,
at a
we would have
time?
to bring a lot of butchers too. So, I mean, you pretty
Have to
much
get the
have to
meat
get
here
right to,
and
well, you have to
preserve
cook all the
it.
fat down, put it in the barrels, layer it, it would be a whole thing.
So
But
we
yeah.
need barrel makers.
Yep. Okay, need
So a
keepers.
hunt, you say?
Yes, yes. We traded with some of the elves to confirm on the fact of their edibility and so on, and we confirmed on all that. So we believe it checks out.
Good, and it means we won't have any sort of hostility from the elves as well.
No.
That's good. Well, looking
I'll hunt a
about,
lizard.
then a hunt it is. I haven't been on a hunt in 60 years.
Well, that bodes well.
Was it above
Oh.
ground?
It was above ground, but you never forget a hunt.
It's
Let's take our second break here. We'll take 5. We'll come back and we'll start you out with that journey roll as you travel to the Mistlands Valley. All right.
Woohoo.
So we see the group of you gather together, get ready to head out. So like, are any of you bringing your guild's folks along? Some of them have had some uses already, but probably still got some. Grunheld, are you bringing your guild?
I feel like at least a couple of them want
Okay.
to go and be a part of a
Absolutely.
fight, a hunt.
Yeah. Just note their supply for that, and you have that ready. Tolan, are you bringing your guild along?
Yeah, kind of the same situation. I'm sure some of them want to.
Okay. Dagrio?
I think that actually we are coming and probably almost as the whole guild, like we're going with all of the stuff that we have about hunting and preserving and all of those things, like, written in the smallest print in the, on things like that. But we've also got a lot of blank paper and stuff for making notes about what we see, because there's this whole area we haven't been to with giant animals and things, which sounds fascinating. So yeah, we're all in. first thing is getting food, but then if we get some time and we survive the thing, we're gonna take a look around.
And Dawson, obviously your scouts have to lead the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So this does begin though with a journey roll. This is a challenging roll here. Who is leading that?
Does anyone have more than one dot in journey?
I've only got one, but I've also only got one stress box checked, so
Ah.
I can lead it.
All right, that sounds good.
That sounds good.
And everybody who marked a supply for guild, remember you get one use out of them of like helping out with a roll or doing a roll on their own or something for that.
Yep.
Okay.
So is somebody leading the roll and the others are rolling their journey?
Yes,
Okay.
so I heard that Talon was gonna lead.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
So then let's go around the horn. Grunheld, make your journey roll.
1.
Okay, so that's one stress for Tolan. Dagriel.
Okay, let's see here. 6.
Okay, so no stress there, and we've got a 6 is the highest. And Dawson?
Oh, well, if we've already got a 6, then
Yeah.
I was gonna mark my guild again to get a second die, but
No need, we've got a 6.
yeah, I'm really not optimistic enough to hope for a double 6 on 2 dice. That's a 2.
No, that's another stress.
I suppose that was the other use of an extra die. Right. I remember this system.
So Tolan, take 2 stress from your compatriots, and what did you roll?
5.
5. But the 6 is the triumph for it. What is a cool thing you see on the week-long travel to this valley, Tolan?
Cool thing I see. There is, while we're still in the kind of dry desert area, there is a big like crevice in the ground, and there's steam rising from it.
Yeah, first time you've kind of seen any kind of these geothermal like vents there in the land. Dagger, what's another feature of these dry desert lands as you kind of travel through them, making your way? Desert, savanna, that kind of thing.
Yeah, dry plains. That's
Dry plains.
I think that we come over a set of like low hills, and there is like that savanna where there's this expanse of short grasses that move with the wind, and there's this whole thing where we all like kind of keep walking on the path we're on, but none of us remember going through it except for that start right at the moment when you see it, and kind of coming out of it and not being in it. Like, it is absolutely mesmerizing, that experience of being in there.
Dawson, what is, no, actually, I'm going to hold this question for you in a second. I'm going to save this one. Grunheld, what is the thing that kind of marks out this valley? Is it that there are cliffs that rise up that kind of break it out, or is it that it goes down into, like, you have to go down into it? Like what do we see here? What's the feature that leads us to, okay, now we're in the valley of these monsters?
I think as we have been traveling along through the dry areas, as we get close, we start seeing like wadis, where water will come off of mountains, and so that there is desert, so we could see where water would come.
Mm-hmm.
But as we pass beyond it, we hear in the distance actual running water. And that's when we reach this descending rather sharply into a valley, and we could see a waterfall coming off of the mountains heading into it.
Nazin, why is it called the Mistland Valleys? And not for there just being mist there. Like, what is it here?
Um, I think there's like some plant that grows like just in this valley, and all throughout the spring and early summer it puts off these like huge tendrilled sort of cloud-like white flowers that, along with like the mist from the waterfall, it turns like the whole valley from a distance just looks like a white cloud bank.
Yeah. There's that mix of that verdant green and the white as you make your way down into here. And you will travel down. You find a good pathway down. There's no problem getting sent to the valley floor. You get your encampment set up, and then you will prepare yourselves for a hunt. Got gear, you've got nets, you've got those kinds of things all together here. So now we do an engagement roll. So let's look at this. So not a survey. I think this is probably close to that. Yes. So I think you've taken some time to be prepared. Like I think that adds another die onto this engagement. So we've got 2 dice for that. I think that you've brought significant numbers along with you. So we're going to say 3 dice for that. But I do think also this is not something that you have done before. Like, this is very much an unknown. So I'm going to take a die away from that. So you're going to roll the engagement roll with 2 dice. Oh, sorry, plus the base dice, so 3 dice. Sherry, I saw your fingers up, so let's have you roll. I can't hear you curse, but
I said just because I was counting, not fair. Okay, 3d6. Sorry, guys, for what is about to happen.
You can do
4,
it.
3, 2.
4, 3, 2. So
Okay.
you've seen the tracks for this thing. It is big, it is wide. You can see that its belly runs along the ground. You can see that that's how you kind of track that. You can see that there are multiples of these around in the area, but you will get yourselves settled in, and you kind of set with nets, traps, and ropes and lines like that, and you're spread into different areas. And there is that moment when, early as the light is kind of coming down, you see it moving along, and it is huge. It is a giant golden yellow skinned lizard with a fringe on it. Has a huge head as it's moving along, and it stays low to the ground, and there is that bit where all of you kind of staying back, and then there's the sound of the ropes and the nets, and it grabs a hold of them, and you guild people like they are on it like immediately. And that's the point at which you 4 are gonna like, yes, and you hear the roar behind you, and you turn around and you see a second one coming your way. So, Grunheld, what do you do?
I turn around and begin moving towards it. I yell back over my shoulder, Merdwin, my hunting spear! As he throws, and I will mark a big weapon. 2
Nice.
spots there. Makes sense that you need a big weapon here. So a hefty 2-handed weapon, and it's a big old spiked, almost like a big boar spear, but big, heavy set one.
Absolutely. I'm going to share a screenshot for you here,
Mm-hmm.
just so you can see real quick here. It'll take a second for it to log in.
Oh,
That's what it looks like.
and it's several carts big, right?
It's 2 carts big.
Oh
Yes.
my.
All right. So, Grunheld, it seems like you are moving forward to skirmish with this thing.
Well, no, actually, I don't want to trust the dice, but going first, I feel a little awful doing this, but I'm going to use my cool move regardless.
What is it?
As you see me, and you've never seen Grunheld sort of throw aside the weight of age. She almost seems to be dancing forward with this spear. As it roars and moves towards her, she dodges to one side, bouncing off of a rock, and dodges to the next. And I'm going to thrust the spear deep into it, and I'm going to
1
double
or
injure
2?
myself.
Whoa! What are you marking of the 3? What are you marking?
I am marking dazed and injured.
So how does that happen? Like before Tolan, Dagriel, Dazin, before you can react, Grunheld has leapt, arced through the air and on it, and drives that. It's a spear, right? You said it was a spear?
Yeah, big old boar spear.
Just right through the neck of this thing, right through it, and it roars and it twists, and Grunheld is on the end of that spear when it flicks, and she goes flying and smashes into these trees, and like you hear the sound of splintering as that hits, and then there's just this heap of Grunheld on the ground. Even as this thing like roars up, it gets the spear caught on a tree, kind of, and you will see it get stuck and exhaust itself and collapse. Tolan, what do you do? They're still trying to deal with the netted one. That's still in question, but with one mighty strike, Grunheld has dispatched this beast. What do you do?
I am gonna go run and make sure Grunheld is alive.
Okay. So Grunheld is like, what is the injury that you've taken, Grunheld?
I think that it's the smashing through the trees. You could see like her arm and her shoulder. There's the dislocation, but there's also like where like a piece of the tree has stabbed into her side, and she, despite the smile on her face, is in between consciousness and kind of just dippy-doo.
Yeah. She's blinking the blood out of her eyes. They're just like you try to talk, but you can tell that she is not hearing you, Tolan. So kind of try and get her up into a safe spot.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I do want to roll here to get her to safety because there still is
Okay,
these fighting
yeah.
going on. What do you think that should be?
Um,
I feel like a dig is kind of the
it's not quite
prowess or
skirmish.
Germany.
It's not. Let's see. I almost want to say scout or
Oh yeah, a quick,
journey.
intuitive, and physical.
It's not
Yeah,
really skirmish, yeah, but it is quick, intuitive, and physical.
Yeah,
Even though it's not
let's
any of those actions described there.
but yeah, let's have you roll that.
Okay. Uh, 3.
A 3. I think as you grab up Grunheld to get her to safety, you hear a through the underbrush, and you see a much smaller version of one of these things, like the size of a big dog. And its head is up, looking, and it sees you, and it begins coming right at you, and it is going to bite your leg. You can mark injury, or you can resist that.
I will resist that.
Okay.
Got stress to burn, or well, not a lot, but
Yeah. So your lowest is 2d6, right? Or no, your resistance is a prowess is 3, so 3.
oh, that's a 6.
Okay. Yeah. It goes to bite you, and that doesn't land there as it comes in trying to snip at you. Dawson, what do you do?
I think Dozen with his like clanking clay body goes boldly striding forward towards the group of people trying to net down the lizard, and
Uh-huh.
I don't have any sort of applicable skills to hunting, but
Uh-huh.
I do have a point in command. So he begins immediately pointing out how no, you're doing that. That is obviously not going to work. You need 3 men on that point there. Why aren't you hammering more spikes in? You need to give this net nailed down. All right, the 3 of you just to pull. No, pull on the 3. 1, 2, the 3. I said 3.
Perfect. Let's have you roll that command roll.
Yeah, I think that's as good as it's gonna get.
Okay.
Well, what would be a devil's bargain on that?
I think a devil's bargain on that is that you are definitively going to piss off the scouts here. Like you're coming in, and these people, and you're going to definitely make the various guilds people here who are doing their jobs, and you're coming in and telling them, and it's clearly not something that you know anything about what to do.
Yeah, that seems like something that would happen.
Yeah. 2d6. So almost no chance you could fail now.
A 6 and a 1. So I needed that second die.
So
one
yeah,
the other.
it is that you do piss them off, but you point out where, like, there's a section of ropes that have gotten loose, and you shout like look over there to so that they can like hammer those down to lock it down. And this thing is, against this, is trying to hold them down. They're trying to get the spears in. Dagriel, what do? You see, on the one hand, that the chance to finish this thing off. On the other hand, there is a beast on a stunned Grunheld and Tolan, who's trying to get Grunheld to safety.
We can't lose Talon. And Grunheld, that would be a tragedy. So I think I will pull out. I think I will put. I have 2 things in skirmish. I
Yeah.
will go in and knock that thing down. And I think of the weapons that she uses, it probably is a classic axe. So
Okay.
there you go.
Are you
Um,
spending your guild check or your weapon for this to do the extra die?
I don't think guild makes sense. I will use my
Right, as a
supply.
scholar, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
Let's have you roll.
okay. So that's 3d6.
Yes, it is.
I could do well. I got a 5.
Got a 5. So I think that uh you can step up, and what's your weapon look like?
It's an axe, and it's that it's a classic dwarven axe where it's maybe a little too big for the dwarf. It looks like it, but they have that sort of low strength that means that they can swing it with a great vitality and gusto.
So the consequence is I think you will chop this thing, cut into it, but I do think that it's a little noisy and you're going to draw the attention of another one of these things. Do you want to resist that?
I will resist it.
Okay.
So I have in prowess 3 dice.
Yeah.
I roll a 4.
Okay. So take 2. I think there is like another group of them that comes like scurrying up, and just as the axe falls and the like last gurgle of this one with the spear in it kind of and they go and they take off. They just run away. They scurry away.
Smart little puppies.
Even as the scouts like deal the teamwork death blow to the other one and dispatch it.
Oh.
And like you're a little dizzy, Grunheld, but I think your senses will kind of start to come back to you. The ringing will stop.
Holland, did I get it?
Yeah, yeah. One blow, you knocked it down.
Thank goodness I didn't have a second one in me.
It only took one.
And I think immediately your people are moving to drag this back up towards the entryway to the valley to clear it out. It is a messy job. You don't want to leave too much here to attract other predators, so you have to move it and toss it, the remains off in a different area. You have to butcher what you can. You've got salt and things to preserve, but it is a long, involved process. But you will fill your wagons with meat, some that you will consume on the trip, and some that will be able to be smoked and preserved. And 2 of these things, rationed well with care, will be enough to get you through this year. Like, it's still thin, it's still tight, but you will get through it. And no one will starve.
As we've like gotten the wagons all loaded up and are getting ready to head out, Dawson will like kneel down and put his hands on the valley floor and begin muttering as like where all of the various blood and viscera and leftover bits are, the soil and earth will start like flexing and sort of turning itself over and sinking those bits down further into the ground.
Do you want to make a roll for that? Because if you
Yeah,
do well, I'll give you a potential bonus if you guys go to hunt or explore back here later.
yeah.
Oh, I have the scholars to assist if you
Okay.
would like a +1 to that.
I would very much like that.
Okay.
They'll record what you're doing so we can do it for any future hunt.
A 6 and a whole bunch of 5s.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the valley responds. It listens to you, and you will draw off that blood and viscera and stuff, and you will clean this ground here such that it will not draw predators and it will not scare prey. And I think that what you'll realize is when you are done with this, like the way that the ground and the stone have shifted here as well, has provided kind of a natural like cavern place that you can encamp in here just at the mountain of the valley, like a safe spot that you can camp here in.
So
Well done, Dawson.
Oh. I mean, yes, I meant to do that.
And we will see the group of you return back to another week's travel and reach back to the settlement. And immediately people are taking the wood to smoke the meat and getting what fat they can have and oil and salt to prepare and store. And everyone seems very pleased. And you can tell that this quick action has prevented any resentment on the part of your existing dwarves. That's the issue that you didn't talk about, didn't really consider is worry about these outsiders, and you kind of forestall any of that because nobody has to go hungry. So here's the question. Do you want to do a second expedition this year? Or do you wish to go to the settlement phase?
Did we pull any rep? I can't imagine we got treasure, but did we pull any rep off of
Oh,
this
I think you would have
expedition?
gotten a treasure just from goods and materials that you could sell from these
Like
animals.
skins or something?
lizard leather.
So let's say a treasure and a rep. I think this is a very internal facing thing, but you do get some things for that.
And I'll add treasure, and I'll add rep.
Oh, I just added them.
Then I will take away a treasure and take away a rep.
Actually, now that I think about it, let's say 2 treasure. I think we're talking about rare materials.
Then I will add a treasure.
Yeah. And then we'll take one away. No. No, but I do think 2 treasures probably right for that kind of thing.
Cool. Awesome. What
What do you all
I am
think?
clearly hurt,
Yeah.
which we can't. Well, I mean, I can only. Can I do that with a flash? Can I heal with a flashback? I don't think I can.
No, you have to have the in between sessions or the buildings that allow you to do the healing.
Yeah, because it'd be a host thing. I'm sorry, Sherry. What are you saying?
Well, we do have the infirmary. It's just that it's marked as
Yeah,
used, but when does that get unchecked? So we started the year.
It got checked as a result of this, the last thing and the building of it and the timing of that. So it is checked right now. It'll get freed at the end of the year, and then you can and use it at that point.
Right.
We could activate the brewery to do a tend action.
Yeah.
See, but I don't know if we can activate a building except in the period. Yeah, how does that work? Well, I'm not sure.
That is one of those questions.
Yeah.
Areas that is a question here.
Each building in the mountain home may be activated during the settlement phase to get its
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you have to wait for that phase.
Yeah, I don't
to
think
do
so.
that.
Yeah, and if a flashback can't do it, then I'm injured in 2 spots. I'm not doing great in 2 spots. But if we're going with stuff that's all talky pleasant, I'm fine. And I have used all my supply, but I have a good bit of stress left. That's where I am.
I have a lot of stress.
Left or
I'm at-
marked?
Marked. I'm at like 6.
Okay. Tolan, where are you at?
I've only got, how do I only have 3? Oh, I only have 3 stress marked because Dagro got a 6 on that one, that roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm doing good. But yeah, if we're doing anything action related, we should probably not do that. Given Grunheld's already has 2 injury boxes checked, or 2 harm boxes checked.
I have 6 stress, so I can go along with the thing and I can be careful. That's what I can do. So if we want to do something and it's talky, but that doesn't, yeah.
Yeah, what do we think would be our second one? It doesn't sound like dealing with spider monkeys or squirrel
Yeah, you don't
monkeys.
seem like you're in the shape to go down into the tunnels and fight the spider monkey god.
Yeah.
So if we have something else we could think of, maybe it's worth it. But honestly, we might be in better just going in still with some stress to spend getting new buildings and getting those made.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we need that farm built and we might want to spend some stress
There's no
helping with all
big
that.
cost to just doing one one expedition. You've gotten solid, and it's a smart way to approach things. I will say this is the last year that the dragons will put off the brewery thing. Next year, the monkeys have to be dealt with, or they will negate the brewery. So let's go to the settlement phase.
Cool. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Just move somebody else.
Absolutely. So let's look at the buildings that you have. So we've got to activate. So you can activate the Centaur Library. During this phase, if you want to do a gather information like activity here. So you can activate the brewery to do a tend, so we can clear one of Tyler's effects there. And then the Dagriel Memorial Infirmary can heal a founder. I didn't get a chance to do any guild harm because you guys rolled so well on that. I was going to start punching guilds left and right because I found out they can take harm. I was all set for that.
And the brewery, we actually get to roll the settlement tier. We might get both of Grunheld's.
Oh, that's
injuries.
true. So somebody roll me the tend action at 2 dice.
I'll roll that. I got a 5.
Got a 5 to long-term project. So if ticking a clock, remove conditions for each tick the roll earned. So you can clear both your conditions from the brewery if you drink yourself well there.
Beer. Everything's solved by beer.
Yes.
It's special mushroom beer too.
Yes. So then we get I don't think there's any other buildings to be activated. So Tolan, we've got the settlement phase and the downtime activities. What would you like to do?
Yeah. I think we have established that we need a we need a farm. Let me look at this options here.
Right now, we have to build it on the hills.
Yes.
in retrospect, we should have not put the settlement in the place we put it. It could have been a farm underground.
Oh well.
Oh well, and that was me.
Yeah, it is fine. We can build a farm in the hills. We've got lots of. Well, okay,
Yeah.
we've got 2 hill slots. It's fine.
Absolutely. So I believe that that is an above ground thing. So the buildings, there's a claim building. Uh, clock 3 plus the level of the building being created. So a farm is a building level 1. So you need a 4 ticks on the clock.
Cool.
What are you doing to, what are you using to do this?
Uh, I guess this is craft. Yeah, because it's not underground.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is craft. This is just plain old labor.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll that. Did you now you also have your guild of laborers. I don't think you did the second mark
And I
on it. It
have not
becomes this-
used them. So yes, definitely
Okay, give
this
yourself
is
an
what they
extra
do.
die. Yeah.
Cool. One of them's a 6.
One of them is 6, so 3 ticks. So just one more downtime action will complete that farm project.
Well, we want to use we feel worth a treasure to get it done.
It means other people
think
have
so,
the
too.
options. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Tolan, you will complete a farm up there in
And
the
that frees
hills.
somebody else up in action.
Yeah. Dagriel.
I always hate when I get to this point, but I'm going to have to, how should we say, try to get rid of some of the stress.
Okay.
So my thing is wandering. And let's see here. I think what happens is I go out to watch the farm getting built and I ask a lot of questions and I realize I'm being like really annoying to the farmers and I sort of, wander off from there. So I probably end up going further out into the hills.
Okay.
Like maybe where that dwarven thing was. It's not that I figure anything out. I'm just kind of walking around it like, well, yeah, whatever that goes. So let's see if that actually really helps with the stress. So what do I roll for this?
You roll your lowest attribute: insight, prowess, or resolve.
Let's see. Oh, lowest is 2d6. 3.
So you will clear 3 stress.
Okay. You.
Dawson.
I also need to clear some stress.
Okay.
And I was thinking because I've, gone off traipsing through the caverns a lot and getting sort of boring. So, my wandering obsession, I think he is going to go back down to that shrine and, invoke the spirit of Brasbella Cobalt Bane again. And I think the wandering is I want to use. I want to instead of sending my spirit into the clay thing, I want it to go with her and go wandering through the depths of the mountain and the core of the earth and the weird places where the spirits go.
Absolutely. I think that makes perfect sense. An easy way for you to overindulge.
Yeah, fair.
Roll.
All right. Aha, and I've tricked you because I don't have a lowest score. They're all 2. So I'm actually rolling with my highest one. Oh god, that's double 6s. Ah.
So
I have 6 stress.
yeah, so that's the highest die in the result.
Wow.
Double sixes on a resistance roll actually gives you back stress. That's where that comes in. Yeah. If you
Gotcha.
resist something, yeah. I've seen that happen a couple of times. Piss me off.
But yes,
Tyler.
so I have a magical psychedelic trip through the spiritual realm of lava or whatever.
Brunheld.
All right. We still have to do like an explore to see the lava filled caverns thing, right?
That is a discovery thing, and it is level depth 2. Oh no, 3. So it would be a 3-tick clock.
3-tick clock. Okay. I know we need to do that. Probably need to explore something else. I wouldn't mind building something.
All the delicious things you could then build in that lava-filled gem place. Look at all those delights.
That gem thing is really nice. Yeah, let me go ahead and do. I'll go ahead and put mine in for the discovery.
Okay, so you will take your people and head down into the depths. Then if you haven't ticked your other supply for your guild, you can use them.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm ticked out
Okay.
because I took the big weapon.
So what do you think this is? Scout or dig?
Probably gonna be dig.
Okay.
And I guess I could stress myself. Yeah, I'll stress myself to get a second die.
Okay. Mark 2 stress.
So rolling to D6. I failed. I got a 2.
Got a 2. So you will get 1 tick on the 3-segment clock. Tolan.
Yeah, let's see. Well, I'm gonna try to finish that discovery clock.
Okay. Dig.
Yeah.
Okay.
Three.
You got 3. So that's 1 more tick on that clock, unless you want to spend a treasure.
How are we on treasure? Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it at this point.
Get that finished. Would you please roll me a D6? Colon.
3.
3. We will mark 1 tick on the discovery clock.
It's a 2d6 roll. The first die tells you which of the 3 charts to look at, and then the second die is on that chart.
No, you have to get that clock filled before you actually go to those discovery events. Discovery clock is a 4-segment on the settlement sheet. When the clock is
Start on
filled,
the paragraph up.
each time a claim is filled, use the discovery table to do an oracle roll. Results are unique.
An oracle roll is a 2-die roll.
But that doesn't make sense given what the rest of the paragraph says.
It is. If so, on the oracle roll, if your first die is a 1 to 3, then you're just slowly ticking through the discovery clock. And if your first die is a 4 to 6, then you're going straight to a specific event.
That's not the way I'm reading that, Patrick, but I will
very
take a
sure
look.
that's what it is.
Okay, well, that's not the way I'm going to read it now, but I will check on that.
It was a 3 anyway, so.
Dagriel.
So what do we need to do to keep on working on this lava thing then? Someone needs to do another kind of roll?
It is finished.
Oh, it's all finished.
Yes.
So we can start building there?
Yes.
What are we gonna build, people? I'm gonna name it after myself, but what are we gonna build?
The gym specific one will help us most now. Right now, the lava forge will not help us much.
Okay, so what is the gem specific one that it is? I'm asking y'all who know what you're talking about.
Let's see. I've got up let's see here. For the lava pocket,
It's a gem, the jewel crafter.
jewel crafter. Yes.
Activate to generate 1 treasure or mitigate a guild problem.
Okay.
It's a level 2 building.
Well, that's changed from the rule book, which says 2 treasure. Oh, but he did that in that newest edition, didn't he? Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. And so that track is what?
So it is a tier 2,
Yes.
which means that you need 5 ticks on the clock to complete that.
Okay. So I guess to work on that then, I will get my guildies together. We will have brought together all of the best blueprints and stuff for past jewel crafting things. We will
Okay.
settle on those, sketch those out on the thing, lay in careful things of where stuff is going to go, much sort of blueprinting kind of thing that we've started to do, and then assist by directing the actual crafters at doing it.
Okay.
So, but I'm using my staff, and then I guess that I'm using study
Sure.
or whatever. Is that fine?
That's fine.
So that's a 3d6.
Okay.
I got a 6.
So that is 3 ticks.
All right.
If you spend a treasure, it will be done.
Really?
Yeah, because it goes up 1 result level to a critical.
Oh, wait. Okay. And I think also when I do things that is a study roll, no, it's a gather information. Yeah, let's do it. I think that's a worthwhile spend of a treasure. We'll get it
so
back.
So the jewel crafter is created.
Ah, yes.
Woohoo!
Gabriel. Y'all, I'm so sorry.
Dawson.
Let me look. What does that? It'll work maybe a second time. Gotcha.
Daggerill's brilliant facets. Is that what you're calling it?
Yes.
Love
Daggerill's gyms and more.
For your special events.
We are sort of tight still on underground areas, so I would like to explore more.
Absolutely. Where do you want to explore? Depth 2? Depth 3?
I'll explore depth 1. We still have 2 places there.
Okay. So go ahead and make that roll. I believe that's a 3-segment clock. Am I right on that? Oh no, I think it's a 2-segment clock. It's a 2-segment clock on that at the level 1.
Exploration clock that has as many segments as the depth.
Yeah, I think the minimum is 2, isn't it?
Surface clocks are a 2.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, you're right. So just exploring that at depth 1 just takes the action. So you'll be able to do that now. Let me find that. To that page, table list and oracles. Is that it? Okay, so we are here. So roll a d6 plus 1.
Two.
2, and then roll me a d6.
Just flat.
Yep,
3.
3. It is a clay pocket slash copper vein.
Oh, interesting.
Which one do you want it to be?
I want it to be a clay pocket.
Clay pocket. It is a clay pocket then.
I've been wanting one of those for a while.
Okay.
Yay.
And then would you roll me well, let's see, so that fills that. Clear the clock. So lowest event value, event 1. How about I do the event next time for the discovery thing?
Sure.
Okay, we'll do that. That'll be the easiest way to do that. And I'll check on that. And you may be right, but we'll confirm on that for next time. Grunheld,
I want to start a building
what do you want to start building?
on the mountain. I am going to start a merchant's guild,
Okay.
which is I believe a 1.
Tier 1.
Let me find it. Merchant guild, tier 1.
Okay.
Dedicate to get a merchant guild, or activate to get a second trade roll this year.
Okay.
And we're burning treasure. I wouldn't mind getting a second one now that we've got fangs.
Okay.
So, what am I using it? What do I use?
So that'll be a 4-tick clock.
Cool. All right. Can I use convince to try and get this thing situated? Get the merchants to be willing to work from that area.
Yeah, I like
Build
that.
that into.
Yeah, we let people do that kind of thing. That seems fair.
All right. So I have 2 dice. I got a 6.
So that's 3 ticks towards the 4. If you spend a treasure, you would have it done.
We're out of treasure.
Okay. So you will have 3 out of 4 on that. Now, I can't remember. Can
we
you
not
spend?
still have 1 left?
Yeah, I think there's still one left.
We had 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just clicking off that last one.
In that
Because
Oh,
case,
thought
I
we
had clicked
used
it off.
3.
So you clicked
yeah.
it.
So spend it,
You
and you will have your
double-clicked.
merchant's guild.
We will spend it then.
Okay. So that is built. Let's do XP, but we'll do the trade rolls and discovery events and those things at the start of next session. But let's do XP just because that gives you some things to think about choices wise.
Cool.
And then I'll have the entanglements and all that stuff for next time. So advancement. Tala, did you perform your playbook specific XP trigger? You're muted.
And address challenge with invention or tools. I don't think I really did that this session.
Okay. Do you express your beliefs, pursue your drives, or honor your clan legacy or background?
Yeah. Definitely my background.
Yeah. So mark an XP for that. And we did a nice non-expedition phase scene with the other players, so we'll give you a point for that. Did you struggle with your obsession or weariness?
No, I don't think really struggled with it.
Not this time.
No.
Doggerel, playbook specific XP trigger.
Yeah, essentially I get it. If I unearth a secret or leverage my supply case to help another, I did use my sword to help Talon and Grunheld being snacked upon by the lizard puppy.
Mark an XP. Did you
Ooh.
express your beliefs, pursue your drives, or honor your clan legacy or your background?
Oh, that's a fine question. Yes, that's what I say. Would you read that again? Because I wasn't listening because I was marking my
Did you
XP.
express your beliefs, pursue your drives, or honor your clan legacy or your background?
I did all of the above.
Okay. Let's mark an XP.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you
Okay.
share? And you shared non-expedition phase, so mark
Yep.
an XP for that.
All right. Thank you.
Dawson, playbook specific XP.
Address problems with runes, ritual, or the spirit of the earth.
Oh yeah,
I think
Yeah.
the like blood.
perfect. Mark an XP. Did you express your beliefs, pursue your drives, or honor your clan legacy?
I finally wrote a belief. Our people must learn to merge with the mountain to survive the ages, and this is a piece of the mountain's history coming back to us, and it caused us to change how we are organized. So
Perfect.
I think so.
Mark a XP, and you get another XP for your non-expedition phase scene. Grunheld, playbook specific XP trigger.
Yes, when you address the challenge with shared history or ceremony, I think I definitely
yeah.
did that on several occasions.
Mark an XP.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And then did you express your beliefs, pursue your drives, or honor your clan legacy or your background?
Quite a lot. I think I had a ton of those, honestly. I think
Okay.
I did my shield maiden in the fight. I did pillar of community by kind of leading conversation with the new people coming in. My belief is we are stronger knowing the past to take on the future. I think I was all about it.
Okay. I'll mark an XP for that.
I don't get two.
Sorry, 2 XP. Sorry. And you did a non-expedition phase
I did.
with the others, so mark that. Let me actually go back. Dawson, did you struggle with your weariness or obsession?
Oh yes, I've spent 2 stress on it, and I had a cool like psychedelic lava scene.
So mark an XP on that. Dagriel, did you struggle with your obsession or your weariness?
I had to name another building after myself.
Mark another XP for your selfishness. Grunheld, did you struggle with your obsession or your weariness?
I don't think my obsession came in this time, and
Okay.
I'm not weary.
Okay. Let's do just a quick stars and wishes. We know we've got some stuff to hold over for next time. Ethan, anything you want to point to as stars, or anything you want to like? I really want to see this, more of this, or less of this, or this specific thing coming up.
I really like the spontaneous king discussion that I would never it would never have occurred to me to be like, oh, should we decide if we should have a king? That was just like at least for me, a completely unexpected turn.
Mhm.
So and yet it made sense that, so yeah, stars to Patrick for that. And I can't think of anything special that I would say for wishes. I'm
Okay.
always like just
That is fair. Dagriel.
Let's see here. There were a lot of kind of awesome moments in here. I love the sort of non-play, seeds, the NPC things. Bringing these new dwarves in was awesome, but we all were awesome too. I mean, we're really awesome. So and I enjoyed that whole conversation and all of the debate and just, it was fun, and it built depth into everything that we've done so far and who we are as people. I just loved that whole thing. What was my next wish? I want to be stress-free one of these days. That is on my list.
Want
Truly wish.
to be stress-free.
Yes.
Free to be you and me. All right.
Exactly.
Dawson.
I really like the weird glowing assassin dwarves. They're interesting and different, and like Ethan said, they sparked a like totally unexpected branch of world building. And I think Dawson is honestly just excited to have chemists around to talk to about weird metallurgy things. But also stars Tyler for Grunheld's like badass spear flip flying through the air, cracking into a tree thing. I know you've had that move for a little bit now, and you've been like really excited to pull it out, and it is a super cool move for that playbook. It is a power moment that comes with a very quick cost and a very serious one. Stars for that was super cool. Which is I'm looking forward to seeing one of our special discovery events. Um, also, since we're not quite done with the year, none of us took any like extra settlement phase actions, so maybe if we check in
Oh,
with that at
okay.
the start of
Check
next
in
time.
on extra settlement. Sure. Yeah, you know me, I watch the clock. So I kind of moving through. So
Yeah,
we'll definitely get that next time. I will make a note of that. And if I forget that, please remind me right away. And we will get that done. Grunheld.
I love this one. Love the new people coming in. Thought they were neat. They brought questions to the settlement, which we hadn't had before, and that was a lot of fun to deal with. There was a bit of I felt a little Julius Caesar of no, I turned away the crown. No, I turned away the crown. But with this Thane thing and my hoarding, there's a part of me that thinks Grunheld is gonna lobby to keep being Thane. So we'll see how that goes. But love the hunt was fun. I appreciate folks because I went first, and as I said, I'm like, I feel a little bad doing this, but went in and hacked it. And Lowell, you came out. Everything still was exciting, and everyone doing stuff. So, I was really pleased to get off the move.
I want to say I thought it was great to have you go first and use that because that allowed you to do like a dynamite thing and not like have to like just kind of trail on to somebody else's starting thing. Like I thought that was great. That really felt good.
Cool. And so I was pleased with that, and I love the interactions we had with Tolan and the odd one of our new group. That interaction was really neat, and I look forward to seeing them more.
Mm-hmm.
They fascinate me, and it kind of pulls back to that shaman thing that Tolan had looked into the past of, they talk about dealing with elementals. That seems very similar to what Tolan was told about from the Tengu, which is cool.
Awesome.
Wishes. I want to keep playing as much as possible. I love seeing us build up this space. I'm looking forward to seeing the new discovery. So
Absolutely.
awesome.
All right. Thank you all so much. I'm going to stop the recording.